Hello everyone, Patricia here. Today is my birthday, so if you could not tell by the title of the video or by the shirt that I'm wearing, I hope that you can see it. Today's video is going to be Harry Potter related, just like the last one. It has been Harry Potter week on my channel. So, today's video is going to be a little comparison of the Harry Potter books versus the movies. And I'm just going to be talking about some of the details that I personally wish they had added. They may not have made the biggest changes, some of them, and some of them were really missing in my opinion. And I'm probably going to be missing some different things that other people would have wanted. So, if there's anything that I forget to mention, you can comment that down below. But for now, let's get on with the video. So I thought we would start off with a few minor details that a few people seem to be bothered by that I'm personally not that bothered by, and that is the fact that Hermione wore a pink and not a periwinkle blue dress to the Yule Ball. That didn't bother me much because the dress was still beautiful, and Emma Watson can rock anything, so yes, I would have loved to see them blue, but I wasn't bothered by the fact that it was pink. That didn't affect me whatsoever. And also the fact that Harry doesn't have green eyes. I watched the interview with J.K. Rowling and Daniel Radcliffe, and I distinctly remember her saying that that wasn't a detail that bothered her that much. I think it was because he was allergic to the contact lenses that he couldn't have green eyes, and then they asked, do you want us to CGI the eyes green? And she was just like, it's fine. He doesn't have to have green eyes. As long as his mom and him have the same eye color, that's all I'm asking for. Which they then failed when they showed Lily Potter as a kid. But that's a minor detail. That still did not bother me that much, to be completely honest. However, there are a few of the people that are missing from the story that I really wanted to see added just somehow, whether it was a split second or if it was actually incorporated into the story somehow. The first one would be Peeves. I know that he's not, he's kind of important to the story, but again, he's not a major character. He's just a fun character to have around. And the only image of Peeves that I have is from the very old computer game for the first Harry Potter game, I believe. Yeah, the first Harry Potter game. That is the only image of Peeves that I have, because when I was little, I didn't know what a poltergeist was. I didn't know what they looked like. I had no idea. So whenever I read the books, I imagine the video game version of him. But I wish that you could just have seen him now and again, maybe just zooming around in the background, making chaos while you watch Ron, Harry, and Hermione maybe talking about something. Just little details now and again where he could have been incorporated. Another one would be Professor Binns. Again, I just wish that you could have seen maybe just a split second, 15 seconds maybe, where you see the kids being bored out of their mind in their first year having history of magic lessons, and you see Professor Binns walking in through the chalkboard or the whatever they say in the book. I can't remember the specific word. I just wish you could have seen him just for a split second, because I think it's a fun detail. Then we have Charlie Weasley. Technically, he's in the photo that Ron shows everyone where they've been in Egypt, but you don't really get to meet him and talk to him, even if it's short, just like in the books. He's not that much in the books, but he's still in the books. And I just wanted to see all the Weasleys throughout the movies, just shortly, just a little bit. Of course, we cannot forget Teddy Lupin. He is without a doubt one of the characters that I wanted to see the most. And he's only in the last one for like split seconds, towards like in the 19 years later scene. And I just wanted to see what he looked like. I just wanted to see, does he look like his dad? Does he have bright blue hair like I keep imagining? I just wanted to see him. He doesn't have to have a line. He doesn't have to talk. He doesn't have to do anything. Just seeing him to know, like, get closure, knowing that Lupin's and Tonks' son is alive and well. I also wish that Ginny acted a bit differently. Bonnie, I love Bonnie, but I feel like Ginny was not sassy enough. She didn't fight back when Harry got angry like she did in the books. Like, that's one of the reasons why they're such a good couple, because she can handle his temperament issues, and that is one of the things I wish you could see. And also I wanted to see her Bat Bogey Hex, because that's what she's known for. So, and finally, I just wanted to see Winky, because Winky is actually really important to the story. I think she's the most important of all the ones that I've mentioned, because there's just something about Winky that adds way more to the story, because you have like the whole backstory between her and Barty Crouch Jr. and Miss Barty Crouch in general. Like, she's just very important to the story, because in the movies it looks like Barty Crouch Jr. was sent off to Azkaban, and then all of a sudden he is just Voldemort's helper, and he's going to go undercover as a Death Eater at Hogwarts, and he's just there. Like, you don't get the backstory that he was switched with his mom and everything like that. Like, you don't get any of that story, and Winky's really important to that story. So by including those, like including her, they could include that story, and it would make a bit more sense. So she's probably the most important character of the ones that I've mentioned anyways, that I wish they had added. I'm probably missing some people. I know I am, like Ludo Bagman as well, but I don't really miss him in the movies, to be honest. But yeah, those are some of the people that I wish were acted differently or were in the movies just somehow. So when it comes to different events and things that I wish would have happened in the movies that did not, I'm gonna have to start out with the one that I know bothers a lot of people, and I think it's the only thing when I'm watching the movies that I think about that bothers me. Like, a lot of the other things bother me too, but this one is one that I just like specifically look at, and then I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's not what happens. This doesn't work. And that is Harry not mending his own freaking wand and putting the Elder Wand back with Dumbledore in his grave. He breaks it in half and throws it off the bridge that he's on. And every time I watch that, I'm like, no, 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 no. That is the Elder Wand. I know you're just trying to help a lot of people, and technically that's one way you could handle it. Put it back with Dumbledore. Freaking put it back in his grave. That is one thing that bothers me so much. And that's the only thing that I actively think about when I'm watching it. The rest of it I kind of just think about afterwards. But this is one thing that just really gets me every single time. Another thing that I wish they had done with the movies would be to incorporate a bit more magic in the labyrinth, in the fourth one, the third task of the Triwizard Tournament. I wish they would have included more of the magic that they encounter, because obviously they still made it a challenge because the hedges, they change and they attack people if you stand still too long or fall over and whatnot. Like I can understand why that's what they did, because it's a bit easier to do. Really, it's not because they couldn't do the other things. This is just what they decided to do. And I still like the way the movie did it, but I would have liked to see, a bit more of the magic that Harry encounters. Maybe like just different things. I wish, for example, I would just wish the Sphinx. I wish we could just see more magical creatures in general in the movies. We encounter a few, but like just a few different ones would have been nice, you know? That was like 2 in 1 basically. So the two last things that I wish they had added that are really important, those are I think the two most important points that they don't add at all, and it actually annoys me quite a bit. The first one is, you don't get any backstory on Voldemort's family. You just get a backstory of him at the orphanage when he's told he's a wizard, and then when he's at Hogwarts. You don't get anything else. And I really wish you got to meet and I really wish you got to see his family, to see his mother, to basically know the whole story about the Gaunts. They are so important, and they're not at all anywhere in the movies. And that really does bother me, because they are so important to knowing and understanding Voldemort, and just in general to the story, because they're the reason that he exists, basically. And even though it's like some parts of it may not seem important, overall it adds, like, it gives you a much better picture of who Voldemort is, a better understanding of him, even though he's still cruel as hell. But like, it just adds way more to the story, so I really wish they had added the Gaunts in there. And for the final thing that I'm gonna mention, the biggest thing that only bothers me when I'm not watching the movies and when I'm reading the books, is how freaking important Neville Longbottom is. He is so much more important than they ever like incorporate into the movies. Like he's just kind of, now and again he's in the sorting where he looks terrified and he's looking for his toad in the first one. In the second one, he hangs off a chandelier, and like, or he can't fly a broom in the first one. Like, he's just added here and there for humor, kind of, and you don't understand how important Neville is when you watch the movies only, if you haven't read the books. Because what people that have only watched the movies don't know is that it was either Neville or Harry that were gonna end up in this situation. It was either gonna be Neville or Harry. And Neville does not seem like the person where you'd be like, he has to defeat Voldemort now. Like, you wouldn't think that. And I just think he's just so much more important than the movies give him credit for, and he's so much more badass and hardcore than people give him credit for, or in the movies anyways. And just the fact that like he's bullied constantly, and he's still, when he goes back to Hogwarts in the 7th year, he is tortured so often by the Carrows and company, but especially the Carrows, and he still stands up to them. He's still like, no, I still don't want to follow Voldemort. I'm at the school to help the other kids. That's why I'm here. He is so much more badass. And the one scene that I wish they had added that is so much more important than people give it credit for is the scene where Neville goes to St. Mungo's and Harry, Ron, and Hermione are there too, and they meet him and they see his parents. And they see that his parents don't really actually know who he is. They just recognize him because he keeps visiting them, but they have gone insane. And it's such a tragic scene, but it's so important because it really tells you so much about Neville in such a short amount of time, that he loves his parents and he's scarred for life, that they don't know who he is and they recognize him, but that's it. And I really, really wish they'd added that, because Neville is so much more than just the humor part, and the part that kind of in the 7th movie like stands up to Voldemort and is like Harry died for us, he died for all of us, etc. And his whole speech, which was beautiful, but it's just there's so much missing that I wish they'd added, and it makes me sad that that people don't know how important he actually is if they haven't read the books. So those are all the people and the different events and things that I wish had been in the movies. I am missing a ton, so if there are any that I haven't like mentioned, and if anything that I've left out, comment down below, tell me what you think was really missing from the story that would have added more to it, because obviously there's a bunch of stuff missing, but the reason why I'm not bothered by it is because the overall story is the same, minus, for example, Neville's importance. Like, the overall story is the same, the outcome is the same, and when you compare the Harry Potter books versus movies, and compare, like, for example, the Divergent series to the movies, these are almost identical, the Harry Potter ones, and the Divergent series is just out there. Like, they have nothing to do with each other. So that's why I'm not bothered by it, because despite a lot of details missing, they are so close to each other still. And that is why it doesn't bother me, and that's why I still love both of them despite the differences. And that's the reason that I can still watch the movies and love them. I love the actors, everything. I'm not bothered by it. And the things that they changed, the little details they added here and there and they changed, in my opinion, it did not ruin the story. It did not perhaps make it better, but it didn't ruin it for me. And that is why I don't mind the movies, and that is why I still love them. So, I hope you will give this little video a like, and I hope you will subscribe. I upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and it would mean the world to me if you would come back and watch more of my videos. And I will see you next time with another video. Bye!